think, I mean, the venture capital is investing in startups. You classify venture capital in like two different buckets. You have like the super early stage that does like seed, Series A investing, which are mostly startups that have just been created, that are getting early traction, but most of them are pre-monetization and a small team and trying to get a product market fit. And then you have the VC later stage growth, starting at like Series B and Series C, all the way to pre-IPO. This is mostly what I do. And so at that point, you have startups that you probably heard of, like at the pre-IPO stage, you had like Uber, Airbnb of this world,
yep.
And then earlier stage companies in our portfolio have like Compass, Kitera, Clutter, for example,
yep.
that SoftBank has invested in. So, and so I spend my time mostly on the late stage side of the venture capital. What we do is we spend, probably in terms of how I spend my time, like a third of my time is spent meeting with companies, just having meetings with founders, entrepreneurs, getting to know their business. If we're interested in double clicking with them and we think there's a potential for us to fund a round and they're looking to raise money, and then we spend time over the course of a few weeks going through the due diligence process, similar to what you would see in private equity, probably slightly shorter,
sure.
Given that the company is smaller and we try to move quickly and it's typically a pretty competitive process. So over the course of, let's say, 2 weeks to 2 months, we make our mind on an investment thesis and if we're interested, and then end up making an investment or not. And then, so that's, I guess, another third of my time. And probably the last part where I spend a lot of time is post-investment. We're pretty involved with our portfolio companies.
Yep.
So SoftBank tends to write, if you're familiar with the fund, relatively large checks for the venture capital world, and so we tend to take ownership between 25 to 40%, which is higher than your typical VC fund that's going to take ownership between 5 to 20, 25%.
Yeah.
And so as a result, like we have board seats, we're pretty involved with the operations, so spend time with the management team on site with the company, thinking through their strategy, their pricing, their product, a bunch of different stuff. So coming from a finance background, that's one of the things that attracted me in VC. It's not only building financial models and figuring out if it's a good investment or not, obviously something that I like, but it's also post-investment, spending time trying to build companies. And I wanted to get exposed to that tech side of the equation and understand how you build a good product, how you build a pricing strategy,
right.
How you hire people. We help them with hiring. So
yeah. That's awesome.